Hello, welcome to the library's presentation on paraphrasing. So what is paraphrasing? To paraphrase is to include the ideas or information from an original source in your own piece of work by rephrasing or rewriting those ideas or information in your own words. Or, to put it simply, a successful paraphrase is your own explanation or interpretation of another person's ideas. What paraphrasing isn't is simply using a thesaurus or the synonym function in Word to change a few words in a sentence. Paraphrasing involves thinking about and understanding the topic enough so that you can rewrite it in your own words. So why is it important? Paraphrasing is a valuable skill as it demonstrates that you have read and understood the material well enough to be able to rewrite it in your own words. It is also useful as a way to add clarification and credibility to your own arguments or analysis. And finally, it means you can use other people's work without using direct quotes. Whilst the general rule is that a maximum of 10% of your assignment can be direct quotes, the ability to paraphrase means you can still use other people's material and ideas without fear of plagiarism. There are 6 steps you can follow to perfect your paraphrasing. We will look at these in more detail in this presentation. Step 1. The first step is to read and reread the piece of work you'd like to paraphrase. It can be difficult to paraphrase huge amounts of information at a time, so it's best to break the material down into manageable chunks, for example, a sentence or a paragraph at a time. Tip: if your information contains any words that you aren't sure of the meaning of, it's a good idea to look them up in a dictionary, either a traditional dictionary or an online one, so that you know exactly what that term means. Step 2. Once you're happy you understand the material you've read, set it aside, so close your book or your online material. Now take a fresh piece of paper or a new Word document and try to write down what you've just read, but in your own words. It's important that you have understood what you've read rather than just having memorised it. You want to get the information down at this stage. Don't worry too much about complete sentences or using complex academic language. Just get your thoughts down on paper. Step 3. Once you've done this, go back to the original work and compare the two together. So how does yours read in comparison to the original? Have you managed to get the idea across without using too many of the original words? Does your version still express the same information, just in your own words? And does your version have the same overall meaning as the original? Step 4. Go back to the original text again and see if there's anything you've missed. Remember to add quote marks around any words or phrases that cannot be paraphrased and that you wish to reference as direct quotes. Step 5. You may need to refer back to the original and make adjustments several times until you're happy with your version. Tip: it may help to ask yourself the following questions. 1. Have I accurately addressed the author's ideas in a new way that is unique to my writing style and scholarly voice? 2. Have I tried to replicate the author's idea, or have I simply changed words around in their original sentence or sentences? Step 6. Finally, you should record the details of any sources you use, as you will need this to reference your work. Remember, even if you are paraphrasing, you will still need to reference the original author or authors. A few more tips. Try and use as few words from the original as possible. You need to rewrite the material using your own wording. However, it's important not to change the meaning of the original. Paraphrasing is demonstrating you understand the material you've read and have rewritten it accordingly. It's very important you keep the original idea. Finally, remember you must reference the material you have used. Even though you have paraphrased the material, you still need to credit the original author. Thank you for listening to the library's presentation on paraphrasing. If you need any help with anything we've talked about in this presentation, or if you're struggling to paraphrase something yourself, please contact the library and we can help.